Welcome to Subramani. Some more tips on equity investments. First step in equity investing is you have to do goal setting. You have to be very clear why you are investing. If you do not know why you are investing, it's very difficult to know which instruments to pick. So if somebody comes and asks me, is Tata Power a good share? And my head spins saying, what is your question? Are you looking for a son-in-law who is working in Tata Power? You're asking me whether that company will stay on. Are you wanting to lend money? Are you a venture capital company looking at their subsidiaries? Are you a real lay investor wanting to invest for the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years? Or are you looking at trading in it for the next 3 months, 4 months? I have no clue. I don't even know your name, but people very bravely go online and ask, is Tata Power a good buy? Is Supreme Industries a good buy? Is Hindustan Lever a good buy? Is Asian Paints a good buy? I have no clue, right? Not because whether they are good buys or no. I have all this in my portfolio, but I do not know whether it is suitable for you. Therefore, I don't give advice. I can only say generic, right? I can say generically, Tata Power is a good share. I bought it at 30 rupees. Today it is at 230. So if you buy, the price will go up and I'll sell. I don't know at what price I will sell. So I can only tell you, yes, it's a good company. It is giving me a good dividend yield because I bought it at 30 rupees. I also know that Tata Sons bought it at around 30 rupees. I also know that I think Chandra, who is the chairman of the Tata Group today, he also bought at 30 rupees. That is all, it is there. There is enough evidence of that, right? These are all reported purchases. I'm not trying to guess out of my head. I have a friend who bought 10 lakh shares at 30 rupees. I know many people who bought, right? So it's not a question of whether it is right or wrong, but people do buy, people do sell, people do lose money. So what is the first thing you require? You require a goal. If your goal is 10, 20, 30 years away, yes, welcome to the world of equity. You are good to go, right? But if you've got a 2-year view, it's not as though you will not make money in 2 years. Maybe in 2 years some share will go up dramatically, but for you to be able to spot that is very difficult. And I'm stepping back a little more. I'm saying, first of all, know what is your philosophy of investing. Are you a momentum investor? Are you a large cap investor? Are you an investor with a long term view? Right? You have to know that, because it is easy to say, oh, in the long run, small and mid cap make more money than large cap, so I'll invest in small and mid cap. And then when small and mid cap crashes 30-40%, you say, oh, small and mid cap is too volatile, I'll sell. If you want to invest in small and mid cap, you have to understand that there will be volatility. There could be a 30% fall. So small and mid cap, maybe it's a great time or not a good time to be investing, but even if you are investing, you have to be doing a SIP into it. You should also be seeing among small cap funds which are the ones where the PE is lower, because there the risk is lesser. You want to take the risk of investing in small cap, be my guest, nothing to worry about. I'm making this video in November 2022, in January 2023. And I'm very clear that I would not be keen to commit more to small cap. I have invested in a couple of small cap funds. They have not done too well, but I'm not going to remove money, nor am I adding money. I'm not even doing an SIP in small cap funds. I'm much better off today in investing in single companies. I'm not too keen to put, but I love small cap funds because it's very difficult to spot small caps, right? Because you've got to spot too many small caps, and you don't want to commit too much because of liquidity, etc. Because one thing which is very important for you to realize, when markets do badly, small cap trading volume just freezes and nothing happens. You will never be able to it. You should not be taking a liquidity risk in a small cap fund, right? You cannot take liquidity risk and do a concentration risk, then you will get hammered in small cap. So you have to understand what you do. How do you understand all this? First is you make a philosophy statement. If you go to my blog, which is subramani.com, I have made philosophy statements for retired people, etc. Go and see how much you understand and draft it for yourself. That is step number 1. Then you will know which share to buy long term. Every equity buy has to be long term, right? So 10-15 years to me is appropriate term. I wouldn't even call it long term. So when you think of equity, you think in terms of decades and generations. You don't think of hours and weeks and months, right? So if you're thinking of decades, yes, generations, yes, then maybe even small cap will make money. But it is possible in the next 2 years that large cap makes more money than small cap, and you keep wondering, what am I doing, right? So timing the market and this is very, very difficult, right? So, so first is have your investment philosophy statement. I am creating this heirloom for my son. I am creating this heirloom for my daughter, right? So this is for my family, and the very clear instruction that my family will get it professionally managed if I am not there, or if my son or daughter is interested, they will handle this. Whatever, you have to have all that. It's a family commitment. It is not just your investment philosophy statement. Then you choose the company, and I choose a company very simply by saying from where is it, which geography. Some geographies I just don't touch because I think it's too risky. Those promoters are not worthwhile, and my only question that I have to ask is, will this promoter bring enough meat to the table and leave enough for us? Like you know, a lion does not eat more than 25-30% of the kill that it makes, but when it is in a, but it is always in the herd, and the herd can really rip apart any animal that it kills within few minutes, right? So it can, but it still leaves enough for the jackal and the vultures, right? So not all the bones would be eaten. So the bones would be picked clean by the vultures and other birds of prey, right? So it's important to know whether the promoter will bring enough meat to the table and leave enough for the shareholders. I'm not too much worried about his virtues, whether he's a good guy, whether he's politically active. In India, you need all that. You cannot just say, oh, I'm very virtuous, I will not invest in A group, B group, C group, D group. Then you can't invest, right? So you decide at what level of morality you want to be, because MNCs, everybody, if you see them closely, they've all played dirty, right? So to say I will invest only in the cleanest of clean companies, you will not find even one. At least I can't find even one. So I invest seeing whether the promoter is good enough to leave enough food on the table for me. So this is important. So investment philosophy statement, promoter, then which industry does it belong to? Some industries never make money, and some industries make a lot of money. So if you are saying that I will not invest in a company which causes harm to its investors and to its customers, then you should not be buying shares like ITC. Or you take a philosophical view saying, look, ITC is catering to people who know what they are doing, right? So they know they are going to die of cancer, and therefore they are smoking. So I like the cash flow, so I will invest in ITC. Both are right, but it should be reflected here in your investment philosophy statement. Don't say in your investment philosophy, I'm Sarva Lokan Sukhino Bhavantu, the world will be good, and etc. etc. and I also invest in ITC. That is the conflict. There should be no conflict between your investment philosophy statement, your life, and your investments, because once there is conflict, you will have a problem. I used to be an investor in ITC till some time back, but I sold off saying I don't want to be part of a company which is causing cancer, and I use that money to invest in Siemens. And normally when you put a constraint on yourself saying I will not invest in some companies, your return should go down. But Siemens has done much better than ITC over the last 4-5 years. I've not seen for the last 6 months, but I have no regrets. But I do not invest in ITC because I don't want, it is a part of my philosophy statement that I don't want to invest in a company which causes cancer, which causes farmer suicide. So no Monsanto chemical. I have no clue where the share is, but these are shares which I used to have and I have sold off. So right, at some stage you wake up and say, okay, not for me. So that then the industry, right? So you get the 1, 2, 3, right? And then you have to have patience and the ability to understand your stop loss, understand averaging on the way up, averaging on the way down, sizing, everything. So these are all very important things. So I'm just creating videos on investment philosophies and what I have learned. I've not organized it too well, so you'll have to see a lot of these videos and